James 1 is James the Wine Guy. These are wines for Valentine's Day. Stay tuned. This is to think about beautiful sparkling wines, and one concern that a lot of people write to me about is expense. I think a lot of people are afraid of spending too much money or not spending enough money, and I think it's really not a question about spending too much money or not spending enough. I think people really have a fear of presenting the wrong wine to their loved one, and ultimately, especially on a very sensitive date like Valentine's Day. I think given a lot of people have constraints in terms of budget, it's also to give yourself permission to say it's okay, it's beautiful and great to have a sparkling wine. In fact, I have a glass at least once a week of sparkling wine. And so I think the presentation here is to talk about sparkling wine from regions you may not think about. The purpose of this video is to talk about beautiful wines for Valentine's Day. It's really important to think about and talk about. A lot of people write to me and say, they don't want to spend a lot of money. They want a good quality sparkling wine, but don't want to spend a lot of money on it. And for a lot of reasons, I think a lot of people are careful about budget and what can you get. Is there such a thing as getting a good sparkling wine for a good price point? The answer is yes. You don't have to spend $100, $200, $300 on a bottle of wine. You can spend a really reasonable sum for a beautiful quality wine. And may not be the top shelf champagne, but that's okay. I think this video is also to give that permission to give that it's okay to buy a bottle that is not $100 to $200. It's okay to buy a bottle that's not champagne. It's okay, and I don't want to speak poorly of champagne because I definitely love champagne. It's a great passion of mine as well. But I think it's also to highlight regions around the world, and these basically we have two regions here. We have Italy and New Mexico, and I think they're outstanding wines altogether and things to think about in a different way. And great packaging here. We have great wines, and I'll go through these one by one and give a suggested retail price point that you might find in your area within the United States and potentially Canada as well. So what we have before us is Ferrari. This is called Perla, and this is a non-vintage brut. This is 100% Chardonnay, Northeast Italy from Trento, so that's a DOC. Beautifully crafted bottle of wine. This is something that I'll give another video, actually for all these wines I give a video review of, but ultimately I think this is a really handsome, beautiful, gorgeous wine. And I think a lot of people are seeking a wine that's going to express itself in terms of that familiarity. So the Chardonnay is definitively familiar, and I think it's a really great way of thinking of this beautiful wine, this beautiful sparkling wine from Northeast Italy. What we have here is Prosecco. So Prosecco I think is really important to highlight. I've been tasting outstanding Prosecco. Now the grape here is 100% Glera, once known as Prosecco. Now I think ultimately what the takeaway here is that there are some really refined, beautiful Prosecco, and Nino Franco is producing gorgeous Prosecco that I think are really a wonderful wine that I would serve on a Valentine's Day myself. So this particular bottle, and I'll bring this a little closer so you can see all the great detail. It's called Nino Franco Vigneto della Riva di San Floriano Prosecco Superiore, $32. So I think that's not going to break the bank. It's a beautiful quality wine, and we have something unusual here. So there's a lot of people who want a rosé wine, and sometimes, first of all, rosés are really hard to make, no matter what variety they're coming from. And so I think it's a really great gift to have a rosé wine. Another Nino Franco wine, this is not a Prosecco, because this wine right here called Fave is a wine that is composed of 80% Merlot, 20% Cabernet Franc. And think about it this way, if you're thinking about this being too intense or too strong, it really isn't that wine, because ultimately when you are creating a sparkling wine with these assembled varieties, they're not going to be the one that's going to be in a still wine. So they're going to taste different. They're going to be picked differently earlier. And ultimately, they're going to be a totally different wine. So it's not going to be a high alcohol wine here. And it's a beautiful coloration. So it's this really beautiful jewel-toned rosé coloration. So the next wine is Domaine St. Vincent, a New Mexico sparkling wine. And this is 80% Chardonnay, 20% Pinot Noir. Now, guess what? $12. It's a handsome wine. It's a gorgeous wine. Now, if you can't find this wine, I did find it here in California, and I think it's distributed around the United States. Now, you can also find Gruet. So Gruet is a sparkling wine house in New Mexico, the largest producer of wine in New Mexico, and they produce this bottle. All these are great wines, and so I think ultimately to enjoy sparkling wine, and especially for Valentine's Day. It's often thought of as you've got to, run up the flagpole, spend the most money, and you're here to enjoy these sparkling wines, not to really have a marquee bottle. And it doesn't mean you can't have it. If you want to spend $200, $300, or $100, or $80, or whatever it is you want to spend, please do so. But I'm really speaking to a lot of people who are, seeking me out in terms of, James, what can I do for a lower price bottle of sparkling wine? These are great to have, 52 times a year, which I definitely have a glass every single week, and to enjoy the beauty of life, and to enjoy and reward yourself, right, for hard work and effort and all the good things, and to celebrate with family and friends, because that's what it's all about. So all these wines will be reviewed in their own individual video. A fantastic experience. Really enjoy this. And so you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Vimeo, Google+, Pinterest. If you like this video, please give a like right here. And if you would be so kind, subscribe to my video channel right here on my YouTube channel. I would appreciate that very much. And salud and salute.